Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. It is the final stage here of I Am Krakow. You know what that means? It's playoff time. And I'm excited, right? This is what we've all been kind of leading up to. Of course, I kickstarted things on the B stream. That was very fun. I really enjoyed that. And now we get to go in towards the playoffs. You know how it is. We're going to go run through everything that happens, sort of in technically what we call stage 2, but after the B stream was sort of done for me in towards our stage 2, and then leading into what we've got here in the playoffs. So without further ado, let's get underway. So we'll start just by running through how the groups ended up panning out. Foot started really well, win over Furia. Honestly, looked really good, right? I mean, this Foot side continues to be super exciting. Demon continues to be an absolute beast. Julius as well is super sick. The only thing this team really needs, and I hate to be sort of like the downer on what is a really exciting Foot team at the moment, is probably just a new AWPer, right? Symmetry just doesn't feel like he's up to scratch at the moment for this side. But on the flip side, Molodoi a little underwhelming for kind of what we used to sort of expect out of him. But regardless, a Furia side who still ended up making it through. They came through this lower bracket, beat Mongols. A really snoozer of a tournament for the Mongols as well. Lost to G2. They offered up not a lot in that one. And then against Furia, there was a little bit more on offer. But even still, man, this Mongol side are in a really weird spot. I don't know what to expect for them for this year. But it just looks like Cobra's era isn't passing the eye test, at least for this sort of initial tournament, right? I know it's early doors, but man, I wasn't super impressed with how this team looked. They just look quite lost. They look very underwhelming. So we'll see. G2, not a bad effort from them. I'll give them credit. Took down Foot, of course, which, as we know, no easy side. Lost the Spirit, but took a map off them as well. So kind of credit where it's due in that sense. And then, you know, of course, I'll book their spot into that first stage. Just how the kind of the 6-man playoffs work here. So they go in towards the quarterfinals where Spirit have booked their spot all the way to the semis. In the lower, as you mentioned, Furia came through. Astrala's decent run for them. Started poorly with a loss against Spirit, but, you know, fair enough, it is Spirit. But then a really good win over Paravision, and a Paravision side who, you know, everyone sort of had their eyes on coming in towards this tournament off the back of winning Blast, looking really good in that matter, and then also stage 1 looking so dominant there as well. I kind of felt like they would actually make a deep run. I thought they'd have playoffs locked in place, but against Na'Vi, bit of a choke. They pulled off a decent recovery in one of the maps, but even still, bit of a choke. In terms of overall in this tournament, and then against Astralis, a loss there as well, which I definitely didn't expect. I thought Paravision would have kind of the chops to take down Astralis, but they just couldn't. Astralis, another decent win of a Foot, and again with Foot, right? You know, credit where it's due. It's a win of a Furia. It's a map off G2, map off Astralis. For a side that are so young, the ex-Na'Vi junior core, it's a really good run from that. I still think they can take a lot from this. They are on the brink of making their way towards playoffs, which is a pretty sick place to be. And Furia took down Astralis in that lower final to book their spot. Over in Group B, Vitality, no issues. Didn't even drop a map. Simple stuff. And Zywoo put up a masterful performance. One of the highest amount of kills on Ancient. I think it's like the second or third highest amount of kills on Ancient in a map. So nuts performance coming through from him. We obviously had the matchup against Simple. There wasn't really much of a match. It was simple stuff. Pardon the pun. Therefore, Vitality, pretty easy, 13-8, 13-5. That rivalry against UD Max, which we kind of had, they obviously love shit talking to each other. That was a cool game as well, but a 2-0. There, Aurora, they themselves came through this other side of the bracket, took down Falcons. Pretty interesting game, and again, there's still quite a lot of eyes on Aurora just because of kind of where they're at, right? Really underwhelming Blast Bounty, tail end of the year, a lot of reservations and question marks about Madra as a caller, but I think Aurora have been playing some much better Counter-Strike here in towards Krakow, and they've lined themselves up for an interesting time heading in towards the playoffs, and they'll be booking their spot, of course, into the quarters with that loss here in the upper final. Coming through the lowers, we got Mouse, who ended up booking their spot, win over Falcons, and again, it was close with those OTs, but for the most part, it still is so many question marks about Falcons. Like, they are not performing to the level that they should be. It's all name value, but no trophy lifts, right? And that's the big thing. It kind of feels like a bit like an all bark, no bite sort of roster at the moment. And you really feel when you look towards this Falcons side that the only thing really there is left to change is the IGL, is the caller, right? But then where do you even go there? So it's a kind of a hard decision for Falcons of where they go next. I think really the only thing they can do is upgrade on the IGL. For Kixan, he's a very decent caller and a decent fragger at times, but I just think at this level, he just can't keep up to pace, right? So that's the big question mark there. The other team I want to shout out is NRG. I thought OC looked incredible all tournament long. Stage 1, he was one of my most fun players to watch. I got to catch a lot of highlights coming through from him. I thought he was super sick, super fun. If you haven't checked out the OC highlights throughout this tournament, I definitely go and have a look. He looked super, super interesting, super sick to see. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment. Miles, of course, booking their spot there with that win. That sets up this bracket. We got Furia versus Aurora as the first game. Following that, we got G2 Mouse. Semi-finals, we got winner of Furia Aurora taking on Spirit and winner of G2 Mouse taking on Vitality. And the way things are panning out here, as much as it's very early to say, I kind of feel like I'd be surprised if we don't see Vitality Spirit as that final. They feel like the only teams for me that actually really have the longevity behind them, right? Because you're looking at Furia, who's still a little bit underwhelming. You're looking at Aurora, who are still pretty hit and miss, right? They had one tournament start of the year, which was very underwhelming. And then there's been pockets of moments here. Krakow is definitely better, but I'm still not super trustful in this side. And I don't know how much I back Soulfly in this team just yet. So for me, Spirit, despite them going through their changes, new caller in place with, with Magic and kind of Zontic's back in towards the roster, it's all different and kind of refreshing in a way for Spirit. I like what I see from this team, and I just think they have the firepower. If that isn't the case, I feel the only team that maybe could find that form is Furia. It just feels obviously we know what the ceiling's like for them as of the tail end of last year, and they could tap back into it. Maybe it could just be a case of slow start to the year, but into the arenas, they rev back up. But for me, I'd probably be looking to Spirit to win there. G2 taking on Mouse. I'm probably going to go Mouse here. It's a pretty simple one for me, it feels. But I do like what G2 bring, and they do have that upset potential. But I just think Mouse is just a little bit more consistent and clinical in that vibe. But then against Vitality, I just don't think anybody touches this team right now. And that includes Spirit as well, right? I just think Vitality, again, are looking so clean. So for me, in that best of 5 final, I'm saying 3-0, 3-1 Vitality. And a 3-0, I don't think it would even be the most shocking, especially if ZywOo can keep up this form. He was electric in towards stage 2. You take a look at the stats, actually, on once it verifies, of course, as it always does. And I would be super surprised if we don't see ZywOo towards the top, and we do. 1.52 rating for him. Donk's obviously not doing bad by any means, but it's just the fact that you're looking at this team with an average rating of 1.22. They just feel like the real standouts. I mean, look at the gap between Vitality Spirit and then Miles G2 Furia, and that's where I'm looking. I mean, Aurora not even on here, which is, again, a massive thing. Aurora don't even have players here in this top selection, kind of the top 8, right? So that's where I'm standing here. I don't know how much faith I have that sense of anybody bar Vitality or Spirit being in that final. So for me, I'm going Vitality to win this one, kickstart trophy under the belt as well for the year, and just continue the run as of from last year. Let's take a look at the fantasy, and no surprises. Zygarde, I've gone for a double Vitality, double Spirit. I'm putting my money where my mouth is of who I'm backing. I'm going Vitality to win it, but Spirit to meet them in the final, and I'm going ZywOo to go huge, right? That's the play. But I've gone for Malbs because I just think he's quite cheap for what he is with the headshot percentage. And I was looking at it as well, 84% on the big hit for Malbs is mental. If Malbs has a good game, like even if he gets like 20 kills, such a large portion of them, like 16 plus, you feel are going to be at least headshots, which is just how sharp this guy is. So I just feel like he's going to get stats here. Zontix gets such good stats from support, not only being a supporting player, but because of the body shots as well. I think they really help him. Stat Hunter for ZywOo could have gone AWPer, but we know ZywOo doesn't use the AWP as much as a lot of other AWPers do. So I actually feel like going Stat Hunter is the way forward, especially in the form that he's in. And then Leader for Apex feels like a simple one. Camper, of course, for Magics for the CT side. So that's where I'm going for my fantasy. But as a whole, I'm going Vitality Spirit final. I'm going Vitality to win it 3-0 or 3-1. I think 3-1 at a push, but I love what the Spirit are doing at the moment. They look refreshing. They look back to being kind of an interesting side. I just think it's a little bit premature to say that they can win trophies at the moment. But who knows? I think it's going to be a really interesting final. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I hope you guys are as well. Let me know what you're going to go for the fantasy as well. Have you got any cool players coming through? That's my team. Nice and simple. You know how it is. Thank you very much for watching. Always a pleasure. If you're new around here, like, subscribe, all of the good stuff. I got a couple more videos coming out this week. I've got an interview, and I've also got ones to watch coming out over the next week. So keep eyes peeled for them. My top 5 plus honorable mentions for ones to watch will be coming out very, very soon. Scripts recorded, videos nearly all but recorded as well. So yeah, exciting times. Anyway, thank you. See you in a bit.